Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chad Warmbein, and welcome to another episode of the Money Lane here live in the PITT OHIO's Communication Studio. Today's May 6th, and I do have two special guests with me today in the studio. As a recap, we've had a couple episodes of the Money Lane thus far. We've covered the retirement roadmap for you at PITT OHIO, the update on the rainy day fund for all the employees at PITT OHIO, how to update your beneficiaries in your 401k account, which is crucial, as well as a market update episode. And today we're going to cover an important benefit to you all at PITT OHIO, and that's the Guardian Voluntary Benefits. As a reminder, the Money Lane is the financial wellness podcast for the PITT OHIO Transportation Group. We wanted to provide timely and valuable updates to everyone here at PITT OHIO, and this is a very timely subject. So with me in the studio today, two special guests. My dad isn't to my left today, isn't here. He's in the studio, but he's not sitting in the hot seat. And with me today is George and Stephanie Biddle. George has been here a number of years providing the voluntary benefits, being the guy, right, for your voluntary, but 14 years. And Steph, recently in the past couple of years, you have seen both of these individuals out on terminal tour with my dad and myself, updating you on the voluntary benefits, right? Welcome to the PITT OHIO, pretty cool communication studios. So open enrollment, as you all know, for the voluntary benefits is right around the corner. Being May, we wanted to get out some timely updates to all the employees. I'll turn it over to you, Steph. You're going to cover a PowerPoint and go through some slides with everybody. So.
Yeah, thanks, Chad, for the introduction. George and I are eager to be here in the studio today. A big hello to all of the PITT OHIO employees, as well as those whose spouses and significant others are joining us. We appreciate you being here. As Chad mentioned, the annual enrollment for your voluntary Guardian benefits is open. The final day to submit new enrollments and changes to your current plans is June 5th, 2026 at 5 p.m. Eastern. That's a date that I'll reference a few times throughout today, but something to note. We highly suggest taking notes on the plans of interest and following along in your workplace benefits guide attached to this email. The last 5 pages of that workplace benefits guide include a blank application for your convenience to complete at the end of today's video. Directions on how to submit your application are at the top of page 1. This workplace benefits guide is also available in Spanish upon request. Throughout today's episode, we will be walking through an overview of your 4 voluntary benefits that you see on the screen here. These are the 4 voluntary benefits available to you here at PITT OHIO. These are long-term disability, accident coverage, critical illness, cancer coverage, and hospital indemnity coverage. Before I begin, I want to mention that if any of the following on the screen here apply to you, you have a child who's turning 26 or has turned 26 within this plan year, you've had a recent birth, you've experienced a change in marital status, please call that number that you see up there on the screen, 833-575-0500, extension 0. You can also find this number on mine and George's pens in the break rooms, as well as on the signs posted throughout each terminal. When you call, simply dial the number and hit select extension 0. This is our primary and main point of contact for all policy updates. By using this dedicated line, we're ensuring that we're remaining aligned with HIPAA guidelines and to maintain the highest level of security for you and your family's personal information. Once that line connects, please listen to the message in its entirety, then leave a clear and detailed message that includes your full name, spelling both your first and last name, your terminal, your 6-digit badge number, as well as a brief description of your request, whether you're adding a new policy, making a change, filing a claim, or something else. After that, a member of our team will follow up with you to complete your request. It is important to note, your request is not considered processed until you've spoken directly with myself or George via that 833-575-0500 phone number. I highly suggest adding this number to your phone, as this number is available 24/7 for anything that you may need. If you're a spouse calling on behalf of a PITT OHIO employee, please also be prepared to provide all of this information as well. Now, moving into our first of the 4 voluntary coverages that I mentioned earlier is the long-term disability. If you elect this coverage, it pays benefits directly to you beginning on the 91st day after a qualifying disability and will pay up to 2 years of missed work. For that first 90 days, you're supported by PITT Ohio's company-provided short-term disability. This will pay you from day 14 through day 90 of missed work. To initiate your short-term disability, you'll need to contact PITT Ohio's Human Resources Department. Now, when you enroll in Guardian's long-term disability plan, it is designed to cover up to 60% of your previous year's W-2 earnings, up to a maximum of $10,000 of a benefit each month. As your income changes over time, your coverage is designed to do the same. It's designed to keep pace so that if you ever need to file a claim, you're ensuring that you're receiving 60% of your most current income. In the past, employees have had to manually increase their coverage each year to match their earnings. If they didn't, it would and could lead to a gap in that claim. To eliminate that risk, Guardian now automatically updates all long-term disability policies each year. As of February 1st, your benefit amount is adjusted to reflect your prior year's W-2 earnings. This ensures you're always having that appropriate level of coverage in place.
Hey, Steph, you mentioned the benefit period for the long-term disability starts paying you on the 91st day. Can you share with us kind of what counts as a disability, number one, and then two, is the monthly benefit for employees taxable?
Yeah, great questions. So in terms of what counts as a disability, if you were diagnosed with a serious illness or experience an injury that prevents you from doing your job capabilities, qualifies as a disability there. And no, these benefits are not generally taxed, though always consult with your tax professional.
Always tax professional.
Always.
Right.
Keywords professional.
Right.
If you are enrolling in long-term disability for the first time and you are not a new hire, you will be required to complete what's called an evidence of insurability form as soon as possible. This allows Guardian to review your application and determine whether coverage can be approved. It's important to understand that in this situation, submitting an application does not guarantee that coverage will be issued. That's why completing this evidence of insurability form promptly is critical. In some cases, this review process can and may extend beyond July 1st. What this means is that your other elected benefits could become effective on July 1st, while your long-term disability coverage, if and when approved, may not begin until August 1st. If your application is denied, you will be notified by myself, George, and/or Guardian via email and/or phone. This is why it is imperative for those who have recently been hired, take the time to meet with George and I. Doing so really ensures that you're taking full advantage of the guaranteed issue period within these policies, where this additional step of an EOI, evidence of insurability form, is not required.
I was going to ask where you can find the EOI forms, but on the screen it says where do I find the form, right? Scan the QR code. It's going to come up here in a couple slides. And then where else? Anywhere else?
Yeah, so thanks for asking. Yeah, if you reference up here on the slide, these forms can be found and submitted via directly theguardiananytime.com/EOI. Your group ID for PITT Ohio is 049440. If you need any assistance, please call George Rye. And as Chad mentioned on the QR code here shortly, you'll be able to do everything and scan it on that as well. Before I move on to my next coverage, I do want to highlight an important distinction. The long-term disability policy is available for employees only for that coverage. The next three coverages that we'll discuss here, accident, critical illness, and hospital indemnity, those are different. So each of those offers the flexibility to extend that coverage beyond just yourself, allowing you to include your spouse, your children, and/or your entire family. So let's talk about the accident coverage. This coverage is designed to support you in the event of an off-the-job accident that requires medical treatment. So it applies to a wide range of injuries. This can be something minor, like a cut on your hand, to more serious accidents. If you ride motorcycles or ATVs, I strongly recommend considering this coverage. PITT Ohio does not provide medical coverage for injuries related to motorcycle or ATV accidents. This plan here can help to cover those who partake. Call HR to confirm any exceptions and to find out more information on what qualifies.
Stephanie, I do want to mention one thing, that e-bikes were recently included.
I was about
in
to
that.
ask that. So we talked about it on Terminal Store. I
Yes.
see them flying around all over the place.
Yes.
And yeah, so if you ride an e-bike, because they are very popular, right, these days, please, I would get the accident coverage. I could probably sell a few in my neighborhood.
We'll talk
Sorry.
later.
In addition, this plan does include a $100 wellness benefit for each covered individual. That means if you have 3 people on the plan, you, a spouse, and a child, you'll receive $300 each year, regardless of whether you file an accident claim throughout the year. You have a healthy year, no accidents, no doctor visits, awesome, you're still receiving that $300 each year just by obtaining a physical. I'll dive deeper into those wellness benefits here shortly, but what wellness benefits truly are is money that Guardian will send to you and can be received by auto deposit or paper check.
Can I add one thing to that?
Yeah.
Just the example you meant of 3 employees, employee, spouse, and 1 child. That costs you $6.40 pre-tax. So that's about $300 a year, and you're getting $300 back for getting a physical, a flu shot, things like that. So the policy still in effect virtually costs you nothing. Everybody should have that plan. I just wanted to add that.
And that's real, right? And you
That's real,
You
and it's cash.
can answer any of those questions and give them the numbers, right?
Absolutely.
Based on their individual situations.
Absolutely.
And I was going to ask, right, accident policy, as a dad or a mom with kids, right? Sports or activities, what do those claims look like? Obviously, you can cover your children. I would recommend it. Talk about financial wellness, going to the doctor, broken arm, broken ankle. What does that look like?
Oh, yeah. And that's a conversation we're having daily, it seems. And absolutely. So if you, a spouse, and or your children are hurt off the job, playing in activities such as, volleyball at a family picnic or something like that, anything with a mechanism of injury, that defines an accident. To be able to file an accident claim, you got to be sure that you go to the doctor, ER, urgent care to receive care. What is unique about this policy that you mentioned in having kids is that if one of your dependent children get hurt at an organized sporting event with a referee, they get 125% of the benefits, meaning that, for example, what was a $200 ER visit now becomes $250 for you. Again, paying you directly for those treatments associated with that injury. Now, to be able to file an accident claim, that's something we get a lot. How do you get that money back in your pockets? You must be sure that you go to the doctor, ER, or urgent care to receive care. We suggest that you make your medical provider aware as soon as possible that you have supplemental benefits and that you need a copy of your ER or urgent care report. Discharge papers alone will not be sufficient. The information from the doctor must state what you said happened, how it happened, that you went to seek treatment, and the treatment you received during that visit, what all it entailed.
Let me restate that. Make sure it says in the report, help us help you. Make sure it says in the report, I was in my backyard. I tripped in a gopher hole. I twisted my ankle. I went to the urgent care. Make sure it says that, because that is what starts the claim being valid. Mm-hmm. Thanks.
Absolutely. And if you have any questions on how to start those, again, please reach out to us at that 833 phone number. Moving on, I want to move on now to the Guardian Critical Illness Cancer coverage. This plan provides lump sum payments of $10,000, $20,000, or $30,000 upon a qualifying diagnosis. Whether you have a family history, a scare in the past, or just natural concern, this is a plan that will provide that protection to you. You can also cover your spouse, choosing the amount that is equal to or less than the coverage that you select for yourself. For example, if I select a $30,000 coverage, my spouse can get $30,000, $20,000, or $10,000. However, if I were to receive $10,000 for myself as the employee, I can't go ahead and get $30,000 on a spouse. You got to make sure that you are at least equal to or less than. Now, children are automatically covered at no cost up to age 26 and receive 50% of your elected benefit amount at no additional cost to you. This plan, similar to the accident plan, has a wellness benefit embedded into it. This plan includes a $50 wellness annual wellness benefit per family member. So as of July 1st, 2026, this benefit has been amended to include a routine physical each year, something many of you already do. So again, if you have 3 people on this plan, that's an extra $150 each year, whether or not you filed a critical illness cancer claim throughout that year.
Let me restate that again, if you don't mind, because what's very important. Keith Warmbein and I spoke with Guardian because one of the interesting spots about the wellness benefits were that under the accident and the hospital indemnity plan, there was 150, 100 for the accident, 50 for the hospital indemnity. A routine physical counted for that. But for the critical illness, there's another 50 there, but it usually meant you had to get a mammogram, a colonoscopy, blood work, things like that to get that other $50 wellness. This year, as of July 1st, for this year, 2026, the $50 you'll be able to get for a routine physical after that date.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would say too, right, I don't even talk about the voluntary benefits when we go on terminal tour.
Yeah.
Whether it's with Steph or George, right, every time we go to a terminal, it seems like somebody has this, right? And we've had success, fortunately, and unfortunately, success stories from individuals at PITT
It's
Ohio.
unbelievable the amount of claims we've had with the cancer critical illness policy.
We've seen firsthand how these coverages can and do change lives.
Yeah, yeah.
Keeps paying the bills. What critical illnesses are considered qualifying diagnosis?
Yeah, so a qualifying diagnosis can include a heart attack, stroke, cancer, organ failure. There is a list of additional conditions that are found in that workplace benefits guide, which again can be found within your email.
Gotcha.
And we're hoping that email goes out with this. We're not sure how it's going to be administered, but one way or another, we'll make sure that is hopefully sent to you via email.
And if you do need an additional copy, if you're ever having trouble finding that again, reach out to myself or George. We can send that to you via email. We can send it to you via paper mail if you prefer.
And you can also pull it off the QR code, which we'll get to in a minute there too, because everything's on there. But if you're not techie, then just call us and we'll do it all manually. It's totally fine.
Absolutely. So finally, before we get into some, commonly asked questions, the final coverage I'm going to walk through is the hospital indemnity policy. Now, before I walk through this, it is important to note that the hospital indemnity coverage is not to be confused with traditional health insurance, which pays the medical providers. This benefit, like all others available that I've walked through today, pay you directly, giving you that added flexibility when you need it most. This plan provides coverage for hospital admissions for you, your spouse, and your children. This includes inpatient and outpatient surgeries, as well as prescriptions resulting from a valid illness or injury. Something to note, if you or a spouse are delivering a baby, this policy also covers that hospital admission. Like our other plans, this coverage has a wellness benefit embedded as well. It includes a $50 annual wellness benefit per covered person. So again, if you have a family of 3 on that plan, it's an additional $150 each year, whether or not you file a hospital indemnity claim throughout the year or not.
Let me say one other thing about that. We keep using the 3 example, husband, wife, and child. Or if you have 5 kids or 6 kids or 7 kids, each of them gets that. So if you have 6 kids on the accident policy and it costs you $300 for the year, and you have 6 kids, God bless you, that's $800 you're getting per calendar year back. So you're making $500. I can't restate that enough.
Paying you to protect yourself.
And when you fill out the wellness forms, you don't even need documentation. Just the date and the doctor's name and the address where you went. I'm sorry. I just want to get that in there.
Let me ask a real life example. If say, for instance, my wife is having a baby, maybe in October, and I'm sitting there as the employee, or she is the employee, pregnant, can she pick up this coverage even though she's already pregnant?
Yes. If you as the employee, you can pick it up on her, absolutely. So this plan accepts all current medical conditions.
Say that again.
This plan accepts all current medical conditions during this annual enrollment or as a new hire. Meaning, if you add this coverage by June 5th of 2026 at 5 p.m. Eastern, and you
Maybe
have...
a little earlier than that, George, right?
Yeah.
Get it in as soon, we say
Cheryl
as soon
will
as
kill me.
possible. But as long as your spouse's scheduled delivery date is on or after July 2nd of 2026, this benefit will pay out to you. I want to mention we've brought up the QR code a few times throughout today's conversation. What you'll see up here on the screen, again, I've said it a few times, but that 833-575-0500 extension 0 is the direct line to myself and George 24/7 throughout the year.
It's also a fax number, by the way. Just so you know, that's also our direct fax.
Very techie.
Very techie. I'm as
Very.
techie as it gets.
Wow.
But just so you know, when you fax to that number, it comes out directly to our secure email in a PDF file. So we're not worried about it going to a fax machine in the corner where someone's looking at your medical records.
Yep.
That doesn't happen.
What do you get when you scan the QR code?
Thanks for asking. I was just gonna dive into that. So this QR code is the QR code for all things that you may need on anything that I've talked about today. This screen, by scanning this using your phone's camera, will take you directly to the PDF files for individual coverages. So if you prefer, to have that guidebook emailed to you, we absolutely can. But what this does, you're able to print it out at your home. You're able to look this up on your computer, your phones. This provides all of the diving into all the relevant
Guardian.
forms, the wellness
For Guardian.
forms, the evidence of insurability forms that we went over, as well as claim forms information. Anything that we feel you may need to make the claims process easier, can be found on there.
Let me just say another thing. Not only that, but it'll tell you how to sign up for the instructions, how to sign up for Guardian Anytime, should you want to do your claims on your own. It'll tell you how to do it, what our group number is on there, and how to do that. It tells you every claim form and information with it, such as you can download our DRV, which is a form that you hand to your doctor, you put your name on, and it tells your doctor exactly what you need for the claims amount. And it lets him know, or she know, that it is for a claim for a supplemental insurance company, because I'm being honest, every time you ask a medical doctor for records, they have that thought in the back of their mind that there's a lawsuit pending. So you let them know why you want them, and it alleviates a lot of red tape. Now, as the techie one of this group, just so you know, how to use your camera, I'm telling you, you open your camera, you don't take a picture of that, but when you hold it there will be a yellow perimeter will go around there, and you press the yellow writing on your actual screen of your phone, and it'll send you right to our website that has that. And by the time you are viewing this, it will have a Spanish section for Spanish wellness forms, Spanish workplace benefit manuals. All that will be on there. And but again, when in doubt, call the toll-free number. We will help you and walk you through, or send it to you, or mail it to you. I still mail stuff to people that they don't want to even download it.
There's two types of people we always talk about when we talk about investing. But if you don't want to use your phone, call the number, talk to George, talk to Steph.
That's
if you
it.
want to use your phone, scan the QR code. And I'm 99.9% sure the QR code is in every terminal.
In
Yes.
every single terminal.
On
I
every-
think
on all the
George
walls.
puts up flyers
Absolutely.
everywhere.
And it's on the back of all my business cards, which will be in the, I put them on the back of the business cards, and that will be in the packet that goes out very shortly to each terminal. With the business cards, turn it over. It's right there, keep in your wallet, whatever you want to do, that's fine.
Very cool. All right, you want to go? I put that questions together for you guys to
yeah.
answer. Can you help me out here? So,
Yeah.
Anything else on the slides that you wanted to cover?
No.
Cool. First off, are premiums pre-tax or post-tax in paychecks?
The accident policy and hospital indemnity are pre-tax, okay, which means they can't be changed mid-year unless you have a qualifying life event, birth, death, marriage, divorce, significant change in your status at the company, things like that. When in doubt, call me on the phone, okay? And then you can make a change on those policies. The other two, the cancer, critical illness, and the long-term disability, can be changed during the year. If you say, look, I just, some things are up, I need to get rid of it, I need to add it, okay? That's one thing. But remember, if you add off annual enrollment, if you try to add the post-tax products, the cancer, critical illness, or the long-term disability, you will, even for the evidence of of insurability form, evidence of insurability form, will be needed for cancer, critical illness, and LTD if you're not doing it during annual enrollment. During annual enrollment, you do not need one for the cancer, critical illness, which is why, when in doubt or you're not sure, call me.
Call George. I was just going to say that. That was a lot. It
Yeah.
was like a very good diagnosis of everything. So, second question, what if I think I have a pre-existing condition? Don't know, need to find out.
Well, as long as of July 1st, before then you don't have a bone sticking out of your arm and it happened before that time, if on July 1st if you've applied before June 5th at close of business, and on July 1st you're walking down your steps at home and you trip down at midnight and the clock falls and hits you on the head, you have a claim.
Okay.
That's exactly what it is, because it has to happen. The mechanism of injury has to happen after July 1st, 2026 at midnight, whatever. And that's how that was. Now, that's the accident policy. Hospital indemnity policy, it accepts all current medical conditions. Doesn't matter what happens to you as long as you're treated after July 1st on that. That's the effective date of the policies. You're good. There's no pre-existing conditions on that. The cancer critical illness is, as of July 1st, you can't be waiting for test results, okay? And God forbid you're waiting for test results and something comes through, we can eliminate the policy under your choice, because number one, it's a post-tax product, so we can do that. But that's the stipulation with that. And the last one for long-term disability, you have to fill out an evidence of insurability form regardless, unless you're a new hire. If it's the first time it's being presented to you, or if you went from part-time to full-time, that's considered a new full-time hire. It will then be applied to that. You have no medical questions. I don't care if you're 5'7", 700 pounds. It will give you that. It will give you that policy, because when you fill out that evidence of insurability form, there are some questions you have to answer that
Gotcha.
may preclude you from getting the policies.
Anything else for that?
No.
Cool. In the insurance world, we always talk about being portable, right? Whether it's health insurance if you leave your job, or have to take a leave of absence, whether it's your life insurance. Being that these are voluntary benefits, are these insurances portable if you were to leave PITT OHIO?
Yes, they are portable. Once you know that you're retiring or having a change, reach out to us. We've mentioned it a few times, but that extension 0 comes directly to myself and George. We can help you in porting those. You also, extension 1 on the 833-575-0500 phone number will allow you to speak directly with Guardian. All you have to do when you speak with them is to provide that group number I mentioned earlier, 049440, and tell them you want to take your policy or port it, and they can help you with that as well.
And just also, if you retire or if you leave the company, if you want to keep it, reach out to us. But if it will just automatically fall off without any credit, like, oh, well, I got some, doesn't affect the credit whatsoever.
With these being payroll deducted, once that payroll would kind of come to an end, so with those benefits. So if you don't port them in time, acknowledge that.
And you've got about a month usually after you leave for them to still allow to do it. That's what I've found.
And some companies don't offer these at all, right?
Yeah.
Voluntary benefits.
Oh, yeah.
Shockingly,
Yeah.
as they should. But so know that you can take it with you if you need to. Say little Johnny's playing a t-ball game and he breaks his ankle, or a baseball game, softball game, and I need to file a claim. Remind us how to file that claim.
Yes.
How do I do it?
Easiest way to start a claim for the first time is to call us or to scan that QR code and go to the respective claim form. We have a full-time specialist that works alongside our team for the last 15 years.
14, yeah.
14 years, that can walk you through your claims process. You do not have to do it alone. We acknowledge that the paperwork, the filling out the applications, it can get overwhelming. Allow us to alleviate some of that weight. Reach out to us. We'll get you connected. We'll get the claims process started, finished, and help you throughout.
Yeah, on that, just so you know, if you dial the 800 number, 833-575-0500, if you hit extension 0, it comes to us. 1, it goes directly to Guardian, as we said. It sends you right to Guardian Corporate. Press 2, it goes straight to Donna, our claims specialist. And if you email us, if you fax us claims, it comes to my email, so I forward them to her. And she then walks you through the process and helps you all the way through, or I do, depending on if I'm talking to somebody.
Yeah. And a lot of the times within that first claim, you can also sign up for Guardian anytime. which is the interactive portal for you to have access to all of your information, all things filing a claim, filing your wellness benefits, seeing what you have, seeing the status of a claim. Donna can help you sign up for that. George and I can help you sign up for that. Reach out to us. We are here to help you.
When you leave the ER urgent care, call me. I've had more phone calls of folks on their way to the ER with their kids in the car or them in the car on the way to the ER urgent care saying, what do? I said, get your kid to the ER, get yourself there.
So in case of an emergency, you call 911 first.
Call
911
and
then
call us.
833-575,
all right,
yes.
That
Correct.
makes sense. That's good. Just to clarify,
I agree.
get in the car or an ambulance before you call George.
Yes.
My last question, unless you guys have anything else, is 4 coverages, right? 4 distinct coverages that help individuals and families. Do these policies overlap, or can they overlap?
Well, yes, exactly.
Yes.
Look, yes. What happens is this. Let's say you're at the baseball game, and God forbid, it's a bad break, and the poor child is admitted to the hospital, goes to the ER, gets admitted to the hospital. Both policies, the accident and the hospital indemnity, will pay on that. And I'm talking about first day in the hospital is $1,000 under the accident and $1,000 under the hospital indemnity, and they both pay. Then plus additional days in the hospital, the ER visits, the surgical benefit, anything that sadly might happen with that, they're both paid together. Just like likely you're a PITT OHIO employee who gets hurt off the job, and they're put in the hospital because of it, car accident, something like that, God forbid. What it comes down to is you get paid under the accident policy, you get paid under the hospital indemnity policy, and if you're off more than 90 days, guess what? You're getting paid under the long-term disability policy. All 3 policies. And it's the same way with, God forbid, a cancer or heart attack. You're going to get paid under the hospital indemnity. You're going to get paid under the cancer critical illness, 10, 20, or 30,000, plus your long-term disability. So it really fills any hole potentially of that. Now remember, you have to have those policies for them to overlap each other, of course. But whatever policy you are covered under will overlap with another one that does the same coverage.
And something to briefly add to that is that the money you receive at the time from Guardian for these claims is always yours to use at your discretion. You won't be getting calls asking how you're utilizing your money during your time of need and during the time of that claim.
And it's cash. It's your money. Do anything you want with it. Do what you know which way to spend your money the best for you and your family. That's what this is for. Yeah. Lastly on that, I was just going to say I think that if it's open enrollment, which it is, if you need to enroll or would like to enroll, have any questions, just call the number. Sure, you can fill out the application, but I can also do it over the phone because I did mention how techy I am. I can fill that over the phone with you, answer any questions in the process, or Stephanie or other members of our team, and then I send you a Adobe Acrobat electronic signature request. You sign it over your phone, whatever, and as you hit stop, it comes automatically back to me, signed, dated, and legitimately ready to go. So when in doubt, call us. This stuff works. You can ask anyone in your terminals. Also, they'll be surprised if you ask, do I answer phones? You'll be surprised to hear people say how often I pick up the phone at odd times of the day and night.
So not just 9 to 5.
Not just 9 to 5. Look, I semi-joke, but I always tell people, look, unless I've had a beer, I'm answering the phone. So call early.
And we acknowledge,
That part again.
We've gone through a lot today. I acknowledge that we've put a lot of information out there. Again, this information can be, for any additional information that you may need on what we talked today, we've said it a million times, we'll say it again, call us. But again, you can refer to that workplace benefits guide. The QR code that we'll put up on the screen here one last time. This will, again, take you directly to the PDF files for individual coverage. Utilize this, utilize us. We are here to help you, ensure that you get it right, making sure that this process is as seamless for you as it can be. Reminder, the last 5 pages of your workplace benefits guide is a blank application for your convenience to complete and submit by June 5th, 2026. And
remember, this
we
is a video,
appreciate
so
the time.
you can rewind it and see
Pause
the QR
it,
code again.
rewind it, do whatever you need to do.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Any other closing thoughts?
No,
Well, I
thank
appreciate you
I
guys. How was the first
appreciate
ti-
PITT OHIO, giving us this opportunity, and this is amazing.
Welcome to the hot seat.
I'm telling
Thank
you.
you for having
Well,
us.
well, thanks for coming. This is very timely. Hopefully, as you listen to this episode in the next couple of weeks, George's and Stephanie's phone lines and emails start blowing up, If you have any questions, call them. You can call us, my dad or myself as well. And if you want to hear any other topics, I've talked about it a lot on the Money Lane, and more guests. We're going to have more guests. We're going to cover more topics. Please reach out to my dad or I or George and Stephanie and answer any questions. So officially, the fifth quote unquote maybe episode of the Money Lane. Thank you for joining us, George and Stephanie Biddle.
Thank you for the
And if you have any
opportunity.
questions, as always, call us and we will be speaking to everybody soon. Thanks.
Thank you. Have a great day. Be safe.